Municipal Court is now in session. Honorable Donald Camper presiding. All those having business before the court, draw nigh and you shall be heard. God bless the great state of Ohio and this honorable court. You may be seated.
We're getting some kind of feedback. Turned off the speaker to the outside, so it's got to be something that's okay. Welcome to Lawrence County Municipal Court. I'm Judge Capper. We're having reviews first, so folks that have been before the court previously and had orders to accomplish. This is the test. See how that's proceeding. So when your name is called for a review, come up to your right and stand there, and I'll go over your files with you.
Jeffrey Collins, Sierra Evans, Emery Markle, Lonnie McDonald Jr., Letha Mitchell.
If your name was called, come forward. Your name, ma'am?
Letha Mitchell.
This case number is 2156. And I have a report from RRS, formerly known as Riverside Recovery, dated today. Okay, it's a good report.
I just paid on some of my fines today and asked about community service also.
Okay, what did you say about community service?
I just got info on community service and paid on my fines.
You got 5 days of that to do. You need to get that done. You did make a payment today. And you got a good report on your counseling, so that's good. So you need to, this case is a couple years old, so we need to get this wrapped up.
Okay.
When can you do your community service?
I was gonna go this weekend to the dog pound probably.
Okay, is that something that she's cleared with you?
She did with Mr. Major, Your Honor.
All right. I'll set, when you're not working, so it doesn't matter if it's a Monday or Friday, right?
No.
Okay, I'm going to set your next review for July 10th, which is a Monday.
Okay.
So if you want to write that down, there's a form in the basket that puts your next date on. July 10th, 9 a.m. Keep up with your counseling.
Thank
See,
you.
Jeffrey Collins is appearing by teleconference. And case numbers for him are 19304, 191082, 15606. Okay. You still have 5 days of community service to do, Mr. Collins.
Your Honor, if I may, he was able to May 1st to do some community service for his next hearing. He is not showed up.
Okay, could you hear that, Mr. Collins?
What was that?
I was just informed that I ordered you last hearing to do some community service and you haven't done any.
I can't get off work, so I'm going to take a week off, and that way I'll be able to get some of the caught up, because I was talking to work, told them that I have to get this done, so they're just going to have to let me off and do it, because they ain't going to have a choice.
Where do you work?
That's Strickland Brothers. They're supposed to hire us one more guy, we're down to 4 guys right now, we're like a ghost and shit, so you're gonna have to hire one more guy to play somebody to start taking off. That's what we've been talking about.
what's your work schedule right now?
I work straight 2 weeks, and I'm off 4 days, and I'll be off next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay, well,
Not this coming Friday, Saturday, not this one, but next one.
well, you should be able to get some community service done then, in that time frame.
That's what, yes, that's what I was saying. That's because it's the first time we've been able to do this.
So you're saying it's not this Friday, but starting on the 16th is a Friday? So
Yes, sir.
you'll be here the 16th and the 17th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna put that down. And I'll set your next review hearing for July 7th. And do you have a payment you're making?
Thanks, sir. I already made one.
I'm assuming you did that online.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's not showing up yet. All right, July 7th, get this done, and you can quit worrying about getting these hearings done. July
Sir,
7th,
thank you.
July 7th at 9 a.m. is your next hearing. Get in here for community service.
All right, thanks, sir.
You're welcome. Syria Evans has been called for, hasn't appeared, has not completed. There'll be a warrant issued. Same for Lonnie McDonald Jr. Emery Markle. Emery Markle was called for, hasn't appeared. And has community service and fines to pay still. So it'll be a warrant.
Amy Jo Piles, Whitney M. Piles, Richard Wright, Stephanie Romans, Mark Wells.
Amy Jo Piles. 17,280, 17,154, 15,970. And hasn't completed, and has things left to do, so the warrant issued. Whitney Piles. 19,343. You're at Southern Hope.
Yes.
Your report from them is positive, so very good. You have community service to do too.
Yes.
Your Honor, on May 1st, she was ordered to do some community service before the next hearing, and she has not been.
I put it on my itinerary. We have transport, just no one came.
I mean, at Southern Hope, or
Yes,
where do you live? I've got South Point address.
South Point.
Township Road 1336. Is that it?
Right across the road from Steve Sisler, actually,
Well, I don't know where Steve Sisler lives.
over by the old Pay Lake, Burlington Lake, in that area. Behind Lowe's.
Well, have we got someplace in South Point there she can order?
Yeah, she can go to the police department.
You gotta get this done. Can you get to the police department?
I hope.
South Point?
I'll talk to the transport team.
Is she here?
Is she inpatient?
Yeah, she's in one of our houses, yeah.
She's an inpatient terminal.
It's the road there where Murphy's gas station is.
Okay, so somebody can get her.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
All right, we'll do it here then. Next hearing is going to be July 10th.
Thank you.
Richard Reif, 19218. $18,1348. All right, and you've got community service to do.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I talked to Mr. Major about doing community service hours down in Scioto County. I wasn't for sure about it. Lawrence County Municipal Court granted me to do community service. I started this weekend. I got 5 hours in already, but I wasn't for sure if I was able to do it up here through Scioto County also.
Is that where you're living now?
Yes, sir. I'm an inpatient down there at Ascend in Portsmouth.
Okay, you can do it we've had people do it at Portsmouth Municipal Court before. They still allow our folks to work there.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll need something on their letterhead though, that way he's not getting double credit through the St. Helens Police.
Okay. So I can, I do it at the courthouse, or I can't do it through Ascend? It has to be at the courthouse, or?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
July 10th will be your next review hearing. And I'd like to have a report from them next time. Bring them a report from your treatment provider.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mark Wells is here. '2014, 1273, and 05-2169. You've done all your community service. You have to pay on your funds. You've been paying monthly. Do you have a payment today?
Yes, sir, I did.
You already paid?
Yes,
Okay. This morning you did?
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. July 7th will be your next hearing, 9 o'clock.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Romans is not here.
Your Honor, I believe she called the major and they're having court trouble this morning.
Okay. She has 7 days to come in before a warrant will issue. Okay, that finishes reviews. We're going to do arraignments next. I understand we have quite a few arraignments to do. Yeah, Amy Pauls
Amy Piles.
showed up.
I'm so sorry.
At 17,280 and 17,154, 15,970. Community service all done. Actually, 15,970 is done. You just have to pay on funds. You have a payment today?
I have like $20 today. I get paid on Wednesday. I'll bring some more down then.
We'll take $20. Go to the clerk, make your payment. I'll cancel the warrant
Thank you.
and give you a new hearing of July 10th, 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to have several arraignments. I'm going to explain the rights that all defendants have. I'm willing to do it multiple times, but we'll do it now as a group, and then if you don't understand or have questions, I'll go over it again. It's things that you've heard on any crime show. It comes from a famous case, Arizona versus Miranda. You have a right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything when you're called before the court. But if you do make statements, it's all on the record. So whatever you say can be used against you. So if you get up and admit something that's damaging to your case, the prosecutor can use that against you. So you have a right to have an attorney, to have one appointed if you can't afford one. You have to meet the financial guidelines, and if you want a court-appointed attorney, just tell me that, but I have to ask you about your income to appoint counsel. The depends on your family size and income, whether you're eligible for a court-appointed counsel. You have a right to bail. You have a right to make the state prove any charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If you enter a guilty or no contest plea, you're waiving those rights. You shouldn't do that. If you have questions about the procedure or the case or don't understand what's happening, if you want to talk to a lawyer, if you want a trial on your case, or if you don't know what to do, enter a not guilty plea when you're asked. So that's always the safest plea. You can change the plea later, but if you enter a guilty plea today, then your case is going to be over except for the sentencing part. So not guilty is the safest plea. So when your name is called, come up to the table to the right, and I'll go over the charges with you then. And if it's a misdemeanor, you'll be asked to enter a plea today. If you're charged with a more serious charge, a felony, you can't enter a plea at the first appearance, and I won't even ask for one. Call the first case.
State of Ohio versus Leah Maynard, case number TRC 23671, A and B.
And ma'am, are you Leah P. Maynard?
Yes.
Ms. Maynard, it's alleged on June 2nd at 2:43 a.m. in Rome Township. The state's alleged you were driving a vehicle while being under the influence of alcohol, and that you took a breath test and tested 17 on the breath test. And it's alleged this would be your first conviction if you were convicted. On a first offense, the maximum penalty is 6 months in jail, a $1,075 fine, and a 3-year license suspension. That's the most the court can impose. The least, there is a minimum, so the least the court can impose if you're found guilty is, and it depends on your test score, which I'll explain, but the absolute minimum is 3 days in a treatment program, $375 fine, and a 6-month license suspension. Now, your test score of 17 is right at the level for a high test, so it may be within the margin of error of the machine. I don't know what the margin was on this particular test, but if there is, I'll just tell you what the law is. The law is if you test 17 or higher, it's considered a high test, and then there's also a mandatory 3 days in jail even on a first offense. So if you're above 17 or 17, there's a mandatory 3-day jail sentence. The other number that's important on breath tests is 8. So if you test 8 or higher, and if the state can show compliance with the rules for giving the test, which is, quite a bit to place on the state, then there's a presumption of impairment for any test score above 8. Do you understand all that? That's a lot of information.
Yes, sir.
You have one other charge, driving outside your lane. That's a minor misdemeanor, no jail time, maximum penalty is $150 fine.
Okay.
Do you understand these charges?
Yes.
Do you understand the rights you have as a defendant?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead to these charges?
Not guilty.
Do you wish to be considered for a court-appointed attorney?
No. I'll retain my own.
All right, how much time do you need to make those arrangements?
I've already contacted one. I'm waiting on them to contact me back, actually, so,
Okay. Are you working, ma'am?
yes.
Well, we generally have court on Mondays and Fridays for this type of case. Was there one of those days that's better for you than others?
Friday.
Fridays are better. Okay, do you think you can have arrangements made with an attorney by June 23rd?
I should, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to set that as your next hearing date.
Okay.
June 23rd. Be a pretrial at 10 o'clock. I'm entering a not guilty plea for you.
Okay.
You can sign a $1,000 signature bond. What that means is the signature bond is you're guaranteeing your own appearance. It's like an IOU. You're saying, I'll pay $1,000 if I don't show up.
Okay.
As long as you show up, you don't have to post any money.
All right.
Any questions, ma'am?
Nope.
Okay, that's all.
State of Ohio versus Rebecca Anderson, case number CR 23293.
And this particular
Ma'am, are you Rebecca Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson, it's alleged that at Fayette Township on May the 8th, you deprived Walmart of property without their consent. That's a theft offense, maximum penalty 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Yes.
You understand your rights?
Yes.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty means you're admitting it's true, and you're waiving any rights you have to have a trial and to have a lawyer represent you when you enter a guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. What I typically do now, because I get so many positive on it, if you enter a guilty plea on this kind of case, I have you go do urine screen. So, Mr. Cooper will show you where to go to get to urine screen, then after I get the results of that, I'll send you after you'll come back in the courtroom. So, I'll see you a little later. Go with Jessica to get the setup.
State of Ohio versus Lige or Lige, J. Markham, case number CRB 23295.
How do you pronounce your first name?
Lige.
Lige? You're Lige Markham.
Yes, sir.
Co-defendant with the other person, they both have an Otway address. It's alleged that Mr. Markham that at Fayette Township on May 8th, he purposely deprived Walmart of property without their consent. It's a first-degree misdemeanor, maximum penalty 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Yeah,
You understand your rights?
yeah,
How do you plead?
guilty.
Guilty means you're admitting it's true. You understand that?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm going to order you to do a urine screen also, and you'll come back for sentencing after I get the results. So go with Mr. Cooper. The gentleman behind you, go with him, they'll get you set up for the urine screen.
State of Ohio versus Charles Michael, case number CRA 23312. Charles Michael.
And you're Charles Michael?
Yes, sir.
I think this is your first appearance for arraignment. I think you were ordered in earlier and you didn't appear. Have you received a copy of this charge?
No, sir.
Okay, I've got a summons and complaint that'll be served on you now by the bailiff. Case number is 23312. It's alleged that on May the 18th of this year in Rome Township, you knowingly were in possession of methamphetamine, a Schedule II controlled substance. That's a felony of the 5th degree, maximum penalty is a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Beg your pardon, sir.
Do you understand the charge that's been filed against you? Possession of methamphetamine is the charge.
Yeah.
You understand the rights you have.
I'm hard of hearing. I've had brain cancer.
Do you understand? Well, let's go ahead and, I assume you're not working then.
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Scott, I'm going to appoint
Yes,
I'm going to appoint you a lawyer. Mr. Scott's going to be your lawyer.
Okay.
I'm your attorney now.
Okay.
What I'd like to do, especially since he has this hearing difficulty, if you would talk to him, you can have the court's file, and then we'll come back and talk about bond, conditions of bond, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So just let the bailiff know when you're ready to do that.
We'll go outside and talk, okay?
Okay.
State of Ohio versus Haley Johnson, case number TRC 23656, A and B.
You're Haley Johnson? Ms. Johnson, it's alleged on May 29th at 4:13 a.m. in the village of South Point, you were operating a vehicle while you're under either the influence of alcohol or drugs. It's a first-degree misdemeanor, maximum penalty 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, and a 3-year license suspension. The minimum penalty on this is 3 days in a treatment program, $375 fine, and a 6-month license suspension. And the state's alleging you refused to take tests. Do you understand the charge?
I do.
The other charge filed against you is failure to use a turn signal. That's a minor misdemeanor, maximum penalty is $150 fine.
Okay.
Do you understand both charges and the rights you have as a defendant?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to these charges?
I'm not guilty.
Do you want a lawyer appointed to represent you?
Yes, please.
Do you have a job?
Not at this moment. I'm currently in treatment right now, so once I get out of that 28-day span, I'd say I have 3 weeks left, and then I'll hit the get a job.
Where are you, at OVP, or where are you?
I'm actually in Prestera right now.
Okay. Mr. Steyer, I'll appoint you. Not guilty
Hi.
plea is entered for Ms. Johnson. She can sign a $1,000 signature bond. So is that an inpatient treatment program that you're in, or?
I'd say it's inpatient. I was looking at long-term, but I'm not too sure. I've been there since the 30th, so
Where's that located?
it's on Route 60, close to Fabric Town.
Okay.
Do you have a medical card?
I have a medical card over here.
Ohio? She has an Ohio medical card, so if she wants to seek further treatment, we should be able to find her a place.
Okay. So Prestera takes Ohio Medicaid?
I don't know. I had no clue about the medical part of it, but I asked like my caseworker there, and she said I was covered there. So,
Okay, it's good to know.
I know, right?
When would you like to come back for a pretrial, Mr. Steyer? And I'm looking at probably, well, we could do the 20th, that's a Tuesday.
I'm not here that week, Your Honor. I'm not here the 16th, 20th, or the 23rd.
Okay. How about the?
I'm sorry, it's the 20th, 23rd, and 26th that I'm not here. I just looked at my calendar wrong. But I'm here the 30th or the 16th.
How about the 30th then?
That'd be fine, Your Honor.
June 30th will be the next hearing for a pretrial, 10 o'clock. Not guilty plea is entered.
State of Ohio versus Jared T. Julian, case number CRB 22290.
Okay, thanks.
And TRC 222641.
My approach, Your Honor.
All right, Jared Julian is here. Is that Lawrence County Recovery? Okay, it looks like he had failed to appear for a hearing back in December. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, did he finish with Lawrence County Recovery or with?
Yes, sir, he successfully
up.
completed on 10/27.
Okay, so he had a OBI pending that he's never been sentenced on.
Which piece is that, the 22 OBI, looks like he was sentenced on,
He was.
but there's an assault case he's not been sentenced on.
I don't have a copy of the judgment entry on the file. That's on 2641.
It shows that he was sentenced on 11/14/22.
I need to print that out because somehow a copy didn't get posted.
Unless it never, maybe that was a recommendation, and then it was withdrawn, and it never got.
Yeah, it's not in the file. There's not a timestamp copy of the judgment.
There's no fines put on the case. I imagine probably this shouldn't have been.
It's never finalized.
Probably it's never finalized, so I'll just take it off.
Okay. Do you have an explanation, Mr. Julian, for coming back?
For coming back so late, I've been working, I got a house, been paying bills, seeing my kid, I'm a supervisor at my job. I just wanted to come back and get everything,
Well, yeah, you've had a warrant outstanding for your arrest since December.
yeah.
Yeah, do you realize that?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to go do a urine screen, and I'll have you back out after you do that.
Okay.
State of Ohio versus Holton C. Carpenter, case number 23-329, TRC 23-655, A, B, and C.
And the bail screen, you copies of CRA 23-329. That's the most serious charge. It's a felony 5. Alleges that on May 31st, 2023, at Fayette Township, you knowingly transported or had a loaded handgun in a motor vehicle, and at the time, your blood, breath, or urine contained a concentration of alcohol or a illicit controlled substance that would have made you in violation of the operating a vehicle intoxicated statute. So that's a felony of the 5th degree. The maximum penalty is a year in jail and $2,500 fine. You're also charged with operating a vehicle intoxicated under case number 23-655A. Alleges May 31st at 11:58 p.m. in Fayette Township. You were operating a vehicle with a breath, level of alcohol by breath of 174. The per se level under Ohio law is 8. That means there's a presumption of impairment if you test 8 or higher, and the state can show that they comply with the rules for giving the test. Then the next number that's important is the 17. I already talked about it on another case. I don't know if you were present then, but 17 or higher takes it to a different level of minimum penalty because it's considered a high test score. So The maximum on this is 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, 3-year license suspension. That's the most that can happen. The minimum penalty is ordinarily, if it's a low test, 3 days in treatment, $375 fine, and a 6-month license suspension. And then if there's a test score above 17, that adds a mandatory 3 days in jail, even on a first offense. And the state's alleged you tested 174, so that's above 17. You're also charged with not wearing a safety belt. That's a mandatory $30 fine if you're found guilty. And the state's charged you with driving outside your lane, so that's a minor misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is $150 fine. So you understand these charges that you have?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the money to hire a lawyer?
Yes.
Have you hired a lawyer?
Yes.
Who's that?
Randy Lambert.
Okay. I'll put Mr. Lambert down as your attorney. He wasn't planning on being here today, though.
No, sir.
Did he give you dates when he was available?
The 16th.
Okay. Let's get the prosecutor to come in on this. He may have talked to Mr. Lambert. This is Holton Carpenter. He's got an OVI and a improper handling felony file. He's requesting, and Randy Lambert's going to be his attorney, requesting a hearing on June 16th.
I'm sorry?
June 16th. That should be within the time frame. I didn't know if you had spoken with Mr. Lambert.
Have not.
Okay. I'm going to let him sign a signature bond, so we've got 15 days. So he can sign a $2,000 signature bond. You understand what that means, sir?
Yes.
Your next hearing will be June 16th for a preliminary hearing and pre-trials, and that'll be at 10 a.m. on that day. Do you have any questions, sir? That's all.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Jessica Albright, case number CRB 23328.
Ma'am, you're Jessica Albright.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Albright, it's alleged that in Fayette Township on June 2nd of this year, you knowingly caused or tried to cause physical harm to Jason Huffman, who's either a member of your family or household. That's a domestic violence charge. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
You understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Do you wish a lawyer appointed to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Where do you work?
I work 2 jobs. I work at Harmony Ridge Recovery Center and Schooner's Waterfront Grill and Bar.
I have to determine your gross annual income. Are you paid by the hour, or how are you paid?
One job is salary. That's a set pay for $1,300 every 2 weeks. And the other one I have yet to get paid for because it's a new job.
Do you have children?
I have 3.
Okay, you're eligible for Porter County Council. Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
I'll appoint you. I'm looking at the 20th or after of June.
20th would be fine, the 30th.
That's a Tuesday here. I'm sorry.
Oh, after. June 30 is fine, June 23 is fine.
You can do the 20th?
Yes, I could.
All right, June 20, pre-trial, 10 o'clock. Ms. Albright, well, she has a bond up, so her bond's continued. Is there a protection order requested here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it a problem for you to stay away from Jason Huffman?
What is it?
Is it a problem for you to stay away from Jason Huffman? Are you living under the same roof, or
We were living under the same roof.
Are you
And I
now?
Huh?
are you still living under the same roof?
No, I haven't been there all weekend.
All right, you want to discuss it, or, because I'm probably going to enter an order that you stay away from him, not go around where he is.
I don't know what to say. I don't have anywhere to go.
Why don't you discuss it with your lawyer, come back, and we'll take that up as an issue, decide how we're going to handle it. So I'll recall this case on bond.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, it's on.
State of Ohio versus Bradley Thacker, case number CRB 23330. Bradley Thacker.
You're Bradley Thacker.
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that Fayette Township on June the 4th, you knowingly used or operated a 2011 Chevy Malibu without the consent of the owner. That's unauthorized use of a vehicle. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Do you want a lawyer appointed to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a job?
I do.
What do you do?
I work at McDonald's.
Paid by the hour?
Yeah,
How much per hour?
11.
How many hours a week?
Anywhere over 40, between 40 and 60.
Oh, okay, so you are working full-time. I'm getting your gross is about 22,000 a year, is that right?
I'm not sure, but
How long you been working there?
I just started back working there like last week.
Okay, do you have any money saved?
I do not.
Do you have any children?
I don't.
Okay, since you just started, I'll appoint Mr. Stratton to represent you. He's here, so we'll get him in the courtroom. Need Mr. Stratton in the courtroom. Okay, here he comes. He's coming in now. All right, this is Bradley Thacker. It's a unauthorized use of a motor vehicle charge. He's posted a bond that's continued. Setting hearings June 20th or after.
The 20th is a bad day, Your Honor, so.
Any other days?
Yes, any other days should
June
work.
23rd?
That 20th, I think, is a
Tuesday. 23rd is
So,
Friday.
I got trial starting that Tuesday, and probably that Friday is going to be bad.
Okay, 26th then?
Yes.
June 26th. Pre-trial, 10 o'clock. Not guilty, please.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Step outside.
State of Ohio versus Jeffrey Trout, case number CRB 21602, CRB 21900.
All right, this is a case that had been set May 26th for review. Mr. Trout did not make that. He's here today. He's paid off the balance, it looks like, on 21602 and 21900. There's still a balance owed, so he made a small payment on that. All right, I won't issue a warrant, I'll cancel it. But it was issued. I don't know if it might.
I'm not showing a warrant anywhere. I showed a warrant was recalled February 3rd, 2022, but I haven't seen a warrant since then.
All right. Do you have an explanation for missing on the 27th?
I got off track on what court day it was, and I was sick, something virus. I tried to come in Friday, but I have a different judge, and he was closed. I won't be able to make it because I had to catch a bus and ride a bike the rest of the way. And I called and they said it'd be okay to show up Monday.
I'll set your next hearing for July 7th. 9 o'clock, July 7th, 7/7.
State of Ohio recalls Charles Michael, case number CRA 23312. Charles Michael.
Weeks outside, Your Honor, he's sagging.
I need the prosecutor to come in too. All right, Charles Michael has a felony possession of drugs. What's the state's position on bond?
Well, the state would not be opposed to an OR bond if this gentleman were to be assessed for substance abuse counseling and follow the recommendations.
I think we're going to be amenable to that. Big issue is my client has a lot of health issues. He has 3 different types of cancer, is on a whole lot of medication, has treatment regularly. To be incarcerated in lieu of bond would be detrimental to his health. So we would absolutely request an OR bond, and he would be fine doing any sort of treatment recommendation.
Okay, I've got him at 775 Proctorville. Is that where you live, sir? You live in Proctorville?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at Chesapeake.
You live in Chesapeake now?
Yeah. I stay with my wife, 711 2nd Avenue.
That was 711 2nd Avenue is
Okay.
updated
Well, why
domicile.
don't we try Riverside as a facility within walking distance, and he can, sounds like with his medical condition, maybe outpatient, so he can get to his other treatment. Mr. Gwynn is here from, well, it's RRS now, Riverside Recovery Services, now known as RRS. So, would the defendant waive time constraints on the preliminary hearing?
Yes, we have time.
And let's come back, maybe 3 weeks or so. In the wrong month, in July.
And we're preparing a WTW for that.
Everybody's going to initials.
I can't write.
Can you just make a mark for me?
We can do
It's right there.
June 26th.
Works for me, Your Honor.
Okay. Next hearing will be June 26th.
Thank you.
I had surgery on my brain.
Sure. No, I get it.
Right.
June 26th, 10 o'clock. I'm going to guess that methamphetamine is contraindicated after that.
June 26th.
Contraindicated for everything.
State of Ohio recalls Rebecca Anderson,
We'll go back out and talk, okay?
CRB 23293.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. All right, this is an acceptable urine screen. Anything else you want to tell me, ma'am? And you're from Otway. That's a little, I'm kind of familiar with that. I used to drive that way before they put that new bypass road in. I used to go out that way when I was going to Cincinnati. Otway and Raritan. 73. So what brought you down our way?
I was going to my sister-in-law's.
That lives here locally?
No, she lives in West Virginia.
Well, on the way. Okay, on the shoplifting charge, I'll impose a $100 fine. Order you to pay the court costs. 10 days in jail, which I'll suspend on the condition that you do 5 days of community service. 2 years of probation. You'll have a review hearing on September the 15th. That gives you all summer to get your community service done. And you can do it in Scioto County. I don't know if there's some township trustees or something you can do it for there around Otway, or you can go to the Portsmouth Municipal Court and do community service there. That's a pretty good distance for you just to get to the municipal court of Portsmouth, isn't it? What, half hour probably?
Yeah.
Drive? But anyway, you gotta do 5 days of community service. You can always come here. We have community service every day here at this court except Sundays and holidays. You're gonna meet with the probation officer. Oh, here's the biggie. I'm ordering you to stay out of Walmart. And that's all Walmart. So you're not allowed back in Walmart. And that's it. Go meet with the probation officer, which is to the left as you leave the courtroom. Any questions? His office to the left, there's a open counter on the back toward Otway, that direction, west. Meet with him, and after he'll give you some paperwork after that, you're free to go.
State of Ohio recalls Lige Markham, case number CRB 23295.
Okay, you have totally negative screen. So you're gonna get the same sentence, $100 fine, court costs, 10 days jail, suspended on the condition you do 5 days of community service and stay out of Walmart. Review hearing is September 15th. Get everything done before then, you don't have to come back. If you haven't got it finished, you gotta come back to the hearing. You don't show up, you automatically get a warrant. Any questions, sir? Go check in with the probation officer and get your paperwork, and after that, you're free to go. That's all. You can go meet with probation.
State of Ohio recalls Jared Julian, case number CRB 22290 and TRC 222641.
Okay, you got a good screen. Okay, on the CRB 22290, probably should have the prosecutor pull their file on this because it was an assault charge. I'd made a note that I would dismiss it if he successfully completed treatment. Probably should have you confirm that because I'm not sure. The victim was Wesley Flint. Is that a relation to you?
No.
Okay. Let's let the prosecutor pull their file and then I'll send, so I'm going to have you back up again. At least now we know we got a clean screen and then you have an OVI I'm going to send you on too. So have a seat. I'll call you back up once they get their file.
State of Ohio recalls Lonnie McDonald Jr., case number CRB 23582.
Okay, this was on the review docket today. Mr. McDonald, I guess you were late getting there?
Yes.
Okay, all you have on your case is fine court cost. Do you have something to pay?
Yeah, I got $400.
I'm sorry, how much?
$400.
Okay, well, that almost takes a finish. You just have a little bit left. Okay, I'll cancel warrant. Set your next hearing for July the 17th. pay it off by then, you don't have to come back. July 17th, 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
See the clerk.
Second law recalls Jessica Albright, case number CRB 23328.
This is on Mr. Smith's case, and we were going to discuss bond,
Yes, Judge,
conditions of bond.
yes, Judge. Apparently, there's an apartment, she, her mother, 3 children live there. He's not on the lease to the apartment. He says he's got family right here in Burlington. She has nowhere else to go because her mom lives in that apartment. She's here in the back. So,
Well, what say the state? Can you get a hold of Mr. Hoffman? See what his...
We'll certainly try.
I did attempt to contact him, Your Honor, but I spoke to his grandpa, and I think his grandpa said that she has their shared phone, so I'm not able to get in touch with him.
Yeah, we share a phone number, because he doesn't have a job or work, so he can't pay for anything.
But his grandfather, I mentioned the protection order, and his grandfather said that would be a good idea.
But sounds like he's not living with grandfather, though. Where is he? Do you know where he's living?
He mentioned he was with his grandmother, but he didn't say he was living there.
he does have family in Burlington, right?
Yes.
She's on the lease, he doesn't work, she has 2 jobs. I hate to see her, she has nowhere to go.
Well, if you haven't been in the apartment, but you say your mother or grandmother, is she still in the apartment?
She is.
Was he there last night?
Yes.
Okay.
He's been there the whole time.
Well, that's a difficult situation. And is there another phone number there to call other than this?
Just Facebook.
If he's not here, I can't order him to vacate the premises because he's not here and he's not a party to this case. Any suggestions from wise counsel?
If there were a telephone number, I would call him. But if the only other way is through Facebook, I mean, I guess that I could try to reach him that way.
I don't want her going through Facebook to contact him.
So they all live there together, including this young lady's
She
mother?
apparently has not gone back to the apartment since the time this alleged incident occurred, but he's remained there. And her family is there too.
The 3 kids and her mom all live in the same apartment.
Okay. And so whether or not he's on the lease or the mortgage or whatever it happens to be, he has a right to be there because he's been living there, right? I mean, he would have to be evicted.
Right.
And the only thing I know to do is just to try to reach him and see if there's a way to, I mean, he may be willing for her to come back there, I don't know. And then the next question is that an appropriate thing to do given the circumstances, given the charges? I see here in this affidavit from the officer that that Ms. Albright said that she and Mr. Hoffman are breaking up and have been arguing. I don't know if that breaking up is continuing or whether they're past that. They've been broken up for about a week, but Jason's still been staying there.
May I just say, he had planned on moving out the day after tomorrow because we have court for our son for truancy. And he had told me that he was going to move out.
Does he have a place to go if he were to move out?
He has his grandparents or his mother's house.
And these children are his too, right, according to the affidavit?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So it's not like this is a new boyfriend.
No.
This is a boyfriend that's been around.
Is there someone who can contact him and ask him to come here this morning?
We have no one else to watch the kids unless his grandmother watched him and his grandfather brought him down here.
Who's watching them now?
He is.
But your mother's here?
I asked her to be here. If she left and went back, he could take the car back here.
Why don't we arrange to do that? If we get him here,
She
maybe
can
we can
watch the
figure
kids.
something out.
We could just recall the judge, have the mom trade places with dad, and he can come down here.
Okay, that could work. So
That could work.
recall it later in the document.
Thank
They're
you.
gonna, yeah, they'll figure it out. Now,
Okay, we're gonna go to the jail now and do some hearings.
State of Ohio versus LaRon C. Beach, case number CRB 23162, Lawrence County Jail. Paul Cron is on deck.
Sir, are you LaRon Beach?
Yes.
Mr. Beach, I'm Judge Capper at Lawrence County Municipal Court in Chesapeake. This is your arraignment hearing. We do these by teleconference now, so you are appearing in the court, but you're on a television monitor rather than appearing in person.
Okay.
And you can hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
The charge filed against you is an assault charge. It alleges that at Perry Township on March 13th of 2023, you knowingly caused or tried to cause physical harm to Kayla Williams. That's a first-degree misdemeanor assault. Maximum penalty is 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand your rights? Well, I didn't explain them to you. Let me go over your rights with you. You have a right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything. If you choose to make statements, though it's being recorded, it can be used against you. You have a right to have a lawyer, to have one appointed if you can't afford one. You have a right to bail. You have a right to make the state prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those things I just explained to you?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead to this charge of assault?
Not guilty.
You want a lawyer appointed to represent you?
Yes.
Do you have a job?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work construction. Husband for hire.
What's the name of the company?
Husband for hire.
Are you paid by the hour?
Yes.
How much per hour?
It just depends on the job, whether it's like a roofing job, I'll probably make like 120 a day. We do like 10 hours, that's right.
Okay, I have to determine your gross annual income, so help me out. Do you know what your gross annual income is?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Okay, so you think $12 an hour is what you usually make?
Mm-hmm.
Are you working 40 hours a week or less?
Probably less.
How many hours a week do you usually work?
30 or 35 weeks.
Okay, I'll find you're eligible for court-appointed counsel. That puts you at about $20,000 a year, which for a single person is about where the cutoff is. So I will appoint Tyler Smith. I'm appointing you a lawyer, so we're going to get into the courtroom. Mr. Smith, Tyler Smith is going to be your lawyer. He is here, and he just came in the courtroom. So this is LaRon Beach. He has an assault, misdemeanor level assault charge filed against him.
Okay.
I'm entering a not guilty plea. He was cited to be in court previously back in April 17th, and it's alleged he didn't appear. So I'll set bond at $1,000 cash or surety. Can you post a bond, Mr. Beach?
What is it?
Probably be $150.
If I could talk to my mom, she'd probably come do it. But I haven't had my mom number or nothing.
Oh, well, that makes it kind of hard to get a hold of her then.
Yeah, but few days my family got arrested. So hopefully they
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk to your lawyer, and Mr. Smith will call down and talk to you on the phone. And then, when do you, in case he doesn't want to get out, you want to set it fairly quickly then?
Well, if I get a tax, if I get a hold, if I have to get a hold of my mom for me, I promise you, buddy, I will go out.
How's he gonna get a hold of her if you don't know what the number is?
I just give her address and stuff. I don't know where.
You have a phone number for anyone that, in your family?
No, but I
Okay,
don't know.
let's, maybe schedule it for Friday.
I'm not available this Friday, but I am next Monday.
Okay, we'll set it then for a pretrial on the 12th. So you're wanting to talk to the bail bondsman, Mr. Beach, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have a bail bondsman get a hold of you at the jail. Your next hearing, if you get out on bond, you gotta be at the court in Chesapeake next
Yeah, I
Monday.
didn't know. I didn't even know that I was supposed to be in court. That's what the cop told me. I didn't pull you over the night, last night. I didn't know.
Yeah, well,
So we didn't pay that, the first of the month.
the officer said that he served, actually personally served you with a copy of the summons on March 23rd.
No.
So you want a protection order?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
And I'm going to order, Mr. Beach, that you not go around or contact Kayla Williams.
Yeah, I had to get broke up. She came around me, at my mom, when I was
Okay.
working.
Do you have a phone number for Kayla Williams?
No.
Okay,
It's kind of hard to get any information.
yeah. All right, next Monday, June 12th is the next hearing.
State of Ohio versus Paul Cron, case number CRA 22819. Andrew Green is on deck.
Yeah, Mr. Stratton, you're Mr. Cron's attorney.
Yes, Your Honor. I think we need the prosecutor in on this. We've already worked it out. I've already spoke to him in jail, so.
Okay, let's have Mr. Hill come in.
This is a failure to appear from the 8th of May, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, it's a felony.
It's a felony. Prosecutor has agreed to reduce it down to M3 littering, and will plead guilty to that today.
Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor, he's talking to some victims.
Okay, well, you confirm that on this Cron case? There.
Just to repeat what I just said, so prosecutor has agreed to reduce Mr. Cron's felony to an M3 littering, and will plead guilty to that today.
We, that is with the recommendation from Mr. Seth Summers, the enforcement officer who has overseen the situation. I don't know what Mr. Cron's in jail for today.
Failure to appear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a recommended sentence on this?
well, I guess credit for time served and a fine would be.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Cron, do you agree with what your attorney has stated to the court?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything you want to say?
No, sir.
The property's cleaned up, by the way, Your Honor, so.
Yeah.
All right, I'll impose a $150 fine, court costs. How long have you been in jail, Mr. Cron?
Since Friday.
Okay, I'll sentence you, let's do 5 days, suspend 2, credit for 3. And set your review hearing for September the 15th. So pay off your fine and court costs, you don't have to come to that hearing on September 15th. If you haven't paid it, you gotta show up on September 15th, 9 o'clock. We'll get out of jail today unless there's a holder from another court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Andrew Green, case number CRB 17829, CRD 10408. Seth Harrison is on deck.
All right, it looks like Mr. Green, you got picked up on a failure to appear for review hearing on 17/8/29, which was set for reviewing back in November of 2017 on a theft offense. And also 10/408 was a driving under suspension. And you had community service and fines and costs. It doesn't look like you did anything on either one of these cases. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I had, went back to get my license back, and there was a couple things that were holding me back in Kentucky. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. And then I had to move to Canton, Ohio. And I just, sir, I had forgotten all about it. I started working. I was going to a drug rehab place, the PLA in Louisville, Kentucky, for a while, and I finished that, and I showed up my time up there and totally forgot all about it. I had so much stuff to do. I just put it on mine. I have no issues.
How did you wind up getting picked up on the warrant?
This time,
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I had custody service. We were at home.
How long have you been in jail now?
All of it, about 4 days. This is Friday, 3 or 4 days.
You're still living in Kentucky now?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm transitioning over here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, I'm going to complete both of your cases by the jail time you served. You could have avoided jail time if you would have paid your fines and done community service, but you didn't, so your cases are completed by jail.
What is that? Does that mean I get to go home today?
Yes, it means you can't stay at the jail anymore. You don't have to go home, but you can stay there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Seth Harrison, case number CRB 23322. Aaron Quinn is on deck.
Seth Harrison, and this is Mr. Thompson's case. You want to proceed?
Well, we've got the ball rolling on getting it assessed and we need a little time, so I'd like to continue this at least until Friday.
Okay.
That's all right.
Would the state agree with that, or?
Is he trying to get in the video?
That's not a possibility.
It's not a possibility.
The other VA don't think
They
they
said
can
they
force treatment.
Okay. Is he trying to get treatment elsewhere? The ball. The ball. Here. Sorry.
I need some time to get this thing moving.
Okay, so
He wants to know what you're agreeable.
we're, Your Honor, if it please the court, we're aware that Mr. Harrison's attorney is attempting to make arrangements for him that would be beneficial to him, and it was going to require some more time, so we don't oppose that.
Okay.
we would ask for Mr. Thompson to chip in by filling out this waiver form. On waiver.
So we're going to set this for this Friday? Is that correct?
Or Monday, it's up to you. I'll be Friday, it's fine.
All right. Let's check. Actually, Friday's better. June 9th. June 9th will be the next hearing. Pre-trial.
State of Ohio versus Aaron Quinn, case number CRB 22575. Carl Cooley II is on deck.
Thank you, guys. So I need to be back here Friday.
Sir, are you Aaron Quinn?
I mean, I'll,
Can you hear me,
if
Mr.
it's to
Quinn?
benefit, yeah, I'll definitely.
It would help us, but you don't have to.
Your charges were faxed to the jail this morning at 9:14 a.m. It's a domestic violence complaint. It's all, it alleges August the 19th of 2022, you knowingly caused or tried to cause physical harm to Megan Quinn, who's either a member of your family or household. That's a first-degree misdemeanor, penalty 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this charge?
Well, not guilty, sir.
Do you want a lawyer appointed?
Yes, sir, but I mean, I would like to be able to try to, I didn't know that about that. I already, she had told me that she called to talk to Miss Jasmine or whatever and try to have everything handled. And I didn't even know that this was a thing, so I was thinking I work for the sanitation board, so I'd like to be able to try to hire her, or show her out here since Friday morning.
Okay, so you want to hire your own lawyer then?
I would, yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, if I could.
I'll let you out on a signature bond of $1,000.
Your Honor, I spoke to Miss Quinn this morning, and they are still married, and they're just separated, but she doesn't want a protection order, but she's very concerned about Mr. Quinn, and she says he has a severe drug problem.
Okay.
And she's concerned that if he gets out, not into treatment, that he will end up harming himself.
So that is not the truth, man. I have a job, I go to work every day, I don't have a drug problem. She lives in Lexington, or she doesn't even live by me in Lexington. I would not harm her, I just need to get back to work, man.
Which sanitation board do you work for?
The Lexington Sanitation Board.
Oh, Lexington, Kentucky?
No, she lives in Lexington, I work in a Huntington Sanitation Board. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I work for Huntington.
Who's your supervisor there? Who's your boss?
Teresa.
Teresa who?
Ball.
Ball, B-A-L-L?
Yes.
You have a phone number for Teresa?
No, sir, I actually do not. I don't have anything inside to But my wife told, I talked to my wife, and she said that she called down there to try to do all this things. Because I haven't talked to her, I haven't had any contact with her, I have no contact with her. I have not with drugs, and I don't understand where that came from. But, yeah, I'm not with drugs, and I don't have any interest in contact. I just want to get back to my life. Like, this is old, and I thought this was like all the way done. I don't even understand why I'm doing years, sir. But, I mean, I understand that I did wrong before, but like, I haven't talked to her since like almost a year or so. And I have no desire to be talking to her, or contacting her, or anything like that. I just want to get back to my life. And if you let me on this go water line, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I mean, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to go back to work and do what I'm supposed to do and handle this. I haven't been in any trouble. Matter of fact, I've never had a drug charge in my life.
What's your address? Is it still Township Road 1023?
53, yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, give me the full address.
63 Township Road, 1023, South Point, Ohio, 45680. And I've never had a drug charge in my life, I don't understand why anybody's.
Okay. Well, there's no allegation, in fact, I'm looking at the affidavit, there's nothing in the affidavit saying he was under the influence then, or.
Never been on drugs, I'm a good thing you can.
I'm gonna let you sign an OR bond, but you gotta come back to court. How long do you think it'll take you to get a lawyer?
I'm gonna do that as soon as I get out here today. This is crazy, man. It's really crazy. I'll do that as soon as I get home.
I'll set your next hearing date for June 20th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
June 20th, now that's a Tuesday.
All right.
You gotta be here at the court in Chesapeake at 10 o'clock.
No problem, I will be there.
If you don't, then I'll have to issue another warrant for you.
I'll be there, sir. Don't worry about it. I promise you that.
I apologize for the interruption, Your Honor, too, but Ms. Quinn also wanted me to make Aaron aware that she's happy for him to contact her. She wants him to contact her, as a matter of fact, to get assistance from her.
Okay, did you hear that?
I'm fine, Your Honor. I don't want to do that.
All right, that's up to you. Be back here in court on June 20th.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Carly Tooley II, case number CRA 23325. Tyler Butcher is on deck.
All right, and this is Mr. Morford's case. And set for sentencing, I take it.
I believe so, Judge. If you'll recall, last time you were here on the bench with Mr. Cooley, he had actually pled to shoplifting, and you asked that he be drug tested, and that did not go well.
Okay. Does he still have that case pending?
I believe, Judge, he has a sentencing yet to do on the Walmart, and there are, I believe, 2 felony drug possession charges.
This is a domestic violence case. This was the,
Okay.
this was the,
That's right. Sorry, Judge.
23-235.
Let's think about that. One, I've got to go make a telephone call. Sorry, Judge.
Okay. Well, it looks like it was, there was a plea on Friday. It's the note, pleaded guilty on Friday. It should be, it is entered in the computer, CRB 23-325.
That's the only thing that's pending, Judge.
Have you had a chance to talk with Mr. Tooley about this?
I talked to him, Judge. I was not able to have a meaningful discussion with him.
Okay.
Because of his mental health condition at that time.
What's the state's position on, what's the state wanting to see happen?
Well, this is Mr. Tooley's father here, and we learned a lot about their situation on Friday. It was one of those situations I think, Your Honor, I wish you'd been here for, because you'd have an appreciation for the outburst that Mr. Tooley showed us with vulgarity and profanities and all kinds of stuff. But we got the idea that there are some significant mental health issues that I'm told by his father are probably drug-related. And we got no ability to speak with Mr. Tooley on Friday, although today appears to be much more calm. Maybe he's reasonable at this point. Our main concern is that he gets some treatment in a very, this is a significant issue, and it's my understanding that Mr. Tooley's household has been disrupted frequently by this kind of behavior. Mr. Tooley lives with his folks, and on and off, comes and goes. And of course, they don't turn him away because he's their son, but nonetheless, he's disruptive. And all they want to do is see him do better. And if he's in a frame of mind today to talk about treatment, that's what we'd like to do. We would be interested in seeing him get out of jail. If there was some place he could go, we'd have to trust that he's not going to run away. So we'd need probably electronic monitoring, but we'd like to have him assessed if he's willing to do that. The other day, he was just talking about, give me my 90 days, I'm done with it, give me my 90 days. And we weren't ready to just write him off.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you need to call and talk to him today. I think he's, from what I understand, I got a report that he was confident on Saturday. It seems like he's reasonable today. So why don't you talk with him, Mr. Morford, and we'll come back after you've done so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Which will be today. We'll recall it later today.
State of Ohio versus Tyler Butcher, case number CRB 22585, A and B.
It's brand new. It looks like it.
This is Mr. Smith's case, set for pre-trial. Tyler Butcher.
Yes, sir, I think the last time we were here, I believe there was a order out of Common Police Court on Mr. Butcher. Tyler, you haven't been in front of Judge Ballard yet, have you? Okay. I haven't seen him on the docket, so I don't know when he would appear. I think it's on probation violation arraignment, so.
Do you have any idea? Have they told you when you'll be appearing before Judge Ballard?
Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Set it for Friday?
Oh, yeah, this is for
You're not here Friday?
I'm not here Friday, so
Next
next Monday or
Next Monday is the 12th. June 12th will be the next hearing.
okay, you're going to appear in front of Judge Ballard first. You've got a holder, so there's not much we can do with this, and then we'll come back on Monday.
Okay.
And we can discuss this case as well.
So right now, he has an OR bond from here. I looked up his history with similar charges in this court. I mean, it's ridiculous, the number. And I think the same victim over and over again, probably the same building, stuff taken from over and over again. And we feel that it's worthy of some sort of cash or surety bond. We realize there's a holder from Common Police Court.
What is he facing at Common Police? Probation violation or something?
Yeah, I think so. Is that right, Tom?
Yes.
From cases from here, breaking and entering type cases, theft type cases.
Okay, I'll change it to a $1,000 cash or surety.
And when are we coming back here on?
Next Monday.
Next Monday, the 12th. All right, we have to recall Thule. Mr. Morford's talking with him, so we'll get back to that when he's available. So we're back to cases here. Yeah, starting pre-trial.
State of Ohio versus Joyce Ferguson, case number TRC 2345, A and B.
It's Mr. Hermine's case set for pre-trial today.
Your Honor, I've received discovery in this matter and have watched the video. I believe Mr. Field wanted an opportunity to review the video again after some of the things that I pointed out to him. So if we could come back on July 10th.
All right. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor. as long as it's a time waiver.
No objection to that.
All right, at the defendant's request, case is continued to July 10 for pretrial.
State of Ohio versus Jason R. Smith, case number CRB 22784. Jason Smith.
This is Mr. Kameen's case, also pretrial.
Your Honor, we have worked through some evidentiary issues that took some time to figure out, and I think that we've gotten to the point where we're going to be able to make an agreement as to a disposition of the case, but I still need to speak with the alleged victim, who I've made an attempt to contact this morning, and I know he's called me back, but I was in court, and I know Mr. Kameen's has to be out of here, so we're going to request just a week continuance.
No objection to that, Your Honor, and I'm available on the 12th if the court can fit it in.
Right. Case is continued a week to June 12th for pretrial at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
State of Ohio versus David Wynn, case number TRC 222648, A and B.
Mr. Kameen's case, pretrial.
Your Honor, Mr. Hill and I have discussed, I'm going to file a suppression motion, and we want to have a pretrial on the suppression. We could also set that for July 10th.
All right, pretrial on motion, July 10th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Stephen W. Daly, case number CRB 23242.
Mr. Haslam's case.
Time.
60 more days? You're at day 45 today.
And
Your time runs today.
whatever. There haven't been any problems. The time's run. There was no time waiver, even though we extended the opportunity for there to be no problems and not take the case to trial. There was still no time waiver, and that's the last time we do that. So we got no choice at this point.
they're dismissing?
Yeah, we don't have any other choice. That's fine.
All right, case is dismissed.
Case is dismissed. You're done.
State of Ohio recalls Jessica Albright, case number CRB 23328. Jessica Albright.
Can you come in? Get here.
Thank you for being here. And situation So, what are we going to do? Maybe we like this. You're fine right here for right now. Approach, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right, this condition of bond, I don't feel like I can order this gentleman to vacate the premises because he's been there long term. He's also the parent of the children that are living there. So I'm going to charge against her. I'm going to order her to stay away from him. That's what's requested. So whatever has to happen to make that occur, she has to stay away from Mr. Huffman. And let's come back fairly quickly to see if we can get this
Come back
resolved.
next Monday, Judge, I'm available. I'll make it work next Monday.
So I'm going to change the pretrial. It was set for June 20th. I'm going to set it for June 12th. Our bond is continued. Not guilty plea is entered. Next hearing is June 12th, 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge.
State of Ohio versus McHale or Michael Gardner, case number CRB 22611.
Mr. Thompson's case.
Your Honor, if I may, Michael Gardner is ordered to be here on Saturday for the double day for the cleanup. And I have noted to complete this case, and he was here.
Okay.
In the computer, I believe it shows that he still owes $25,000.
I think we were going to waive that. State agreeable?
Yes, it seems like we had a discussion, and my handwriting has failed me on this, but that he was going to do a day of community service.
He did.
Unless there have been further problems, is there anybody here, family members with you?
My dad, but I think he went to the bathroom.
Okay. We haven't heard that there have been any further problems, but
Neither have we.
All right, case is dismissed.
Thank you.
Yes.
State of Ohio versus Brandon J. Adkins, case number CRB 23138. It's Mr. Holt's case. Brandon Adkins, you did not check in, Your Honor.
His absence was excused because this was a motion today.
Your Honor, I was able this morning to meet with the alleged victim in this matter, and I allowed them to go ahead and leave because the husband of the victim, well, actually, he's probably would be considered a victim as well, but anyway, he had a doctor's appointment. But we discussed a potential resolution of this, and based upon what we have as the evidence in this matter, we would probably have a hard time proving this beyond a reasonable doubt. Not that we don't believe the complaining people, but it's the charge is a third-degree misdemeanor, criminal mischief, which with no actual damages that would be compensable. And so we've agreed, and I think that the defendant has agreed to do a 90-day continuance with a dismissal if there aren't any further problems, and we're not going to request court costs.
We're agreeable with the 90-day continuance if there are no court costs.
September 11th.
Okay.
And since there's no cost or anything, there's no requirement for the defendant to appear.
Thank you.
As long as there's no problems. Dismissed then with no costs if there's no further incidents.
And what's the date on that, Your Honor?
September 11th.
Yeah, but what if there's problems?
State of Ohio versus James A. Busey, case number TRC 23412, A, B, and C.
Mr. Holt's case. Except for pretrial.
this from the judge about this? Did we talk to the judge about this? Approach, Your Honor.
I believe we have a resolution in this matter. I believe that in anticipation of a motion from the state to dismiss the current pending charges, that Mr. Music would withdraw his appeal to the ALS suspension, consenting to that being enacted, but we would ask for driving privileges, and I can prepare an entry for that.
If the court feels that they can issue driving privileges on an ALS suspension, I mean, we wouldn't oppose it, but I don't know that it's allowable.
Well, I can sign the entry. Now, the thing is, if he goes to another jurisdiction and gets pulled over, I'm not coming up there to defend him. I don't know what kind of problem he's going to have, so.
Yeah. What reason to go to another state? He's fine with that, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll prepare the entry.
All right, so all these charges are going to be dismissed upon consent to the ALS remaining in effect with driving privileges, and you'll put that all in?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll do that.
Thank you. Dismiss these charges.
State of Ohio recalls Carl Tooley II at the Lawrence County Jail, case number CRB 23325.
All right, Mr. Tooley is appearing by teleconference. His attorney, Mr. Morford, is here. The father was here. Is he still in court?
Judge, he may have had to leave. We spoke right before I came into the courtroom.
Okay. So what have we resolved? Anything?
Father indicates a need for mental health and drug abuse counseling, Judge. Mr. Tooley says he does not have a drug problem.
Whatever it is we need, but I don't think it's a drug problem on my record.
Well, it won't be on your record if you go to treatment.
Okay. When we talk about electronic monitoring and mental health, we haven't said anything about drug treatment.
Well, why don't we send you someplace that can assess you for both, and then let them decide whether you need treatment for both, or one or the other. Now the issue is going to be, so I look at your, I'm going to gather that you have a medical card? You don't think you have a medical card?
I know I don't.
Okay. And I've got a West Virginia address for you, is that correct?
It shouldn't be West Virginia address.
Okay. Where are you living?
It should be my parents' address where I've been staying.
What is that address?
3999 County Road 120.
What village or city?
Lawrence County, South Point.
South Point. Have you ever had a medical card?
I'm aware of it.
How do you pay for medical services?
Or wait a second, yeah, I have, it's been all kinds of it.
Was it Ohio or West Virginia? Okay, anyone that want to take this on, he's going to have to get enrolled in Ohio Medicaid, hometown, and and you can do the mental health part too. Okay. You want an ankle monitor, Mr.? Field, are you requesting an ankle monitor for Mr. Tooley or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to release you to hometown recovery for treatment with an ankle monitor. Now, I want to make sure you understand this because this is really important. Really, really important. You have a second-degree misdemeanor right now. So if you get convicted, and I think you already know this because I was told you were kind of flouting this last time, the most you can get is 90 days in jail. Okay, you understand on what you're currently facing is only 90 days in jail. But if you cut the ankle monitor, and I've had people do that, you are going to go to prison for 3 years if you cut your ankle monitor off.
Well, I'm gonna stay here for 90 days, but that makes any sense with their head.
Maybe so. That's why I wanted to make sure you understood, like, if you agree to this deal and you go for treatment with an ankle monitor, and you feel like you're gonna be tempted to run and cut the ankle monitor off, you just guaranteed yourself a trip to the prison for 3 years.
No, that makes no sense at all, my board to do that.
Well, if you think you'll be tempted to cut your ankle monitor off, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I've never cut my ankle off, no.
Well, that's the only way it would happen, but that's a big consequence if you cut your ankle monitor off. You're going to leave this court, you're going to go to common pleas, and you're going to, because they're making an example. We don't have that many people do it, but we do have people do it. And everyone has gone to prison that's done it.
Okay, yes, sir. I'll cut my ankle off.
Well, I just want to make sure truth and kind of like disclosure here that you're getting this deal, and you probably maybe can get this dismissed if you do what you're supposed to, but major consequences if you don't and run and cut that ankle monitor, you are going to go in the prison system then. Okay. I'll order that he get an ankle monitor, be released to hometown recovery for treatment. And then we need to come back for monitoring review hearings.
How much is the OR bond?
$2,000 OR bond. About June 20th, Mr. Morphy. That's a Tuesday.
I have an all-day hearing in juvenile court, Your Honor.
Okay, how about the 16th?
What about Dale Thompson?
I'm here then, Judge.
I'm going to see you on June the 16th, and I'll get a report as to how you're doing in your treatment. June 16th, it's going to be a pretrial. So hopefully we can get the ankle monitor replaced today and he can be released. Somebody from hometown will pick him up at the jail. Okay, thank you. Okay, that finishes us at the jail.
Thank you, Judge.
State of Ohio versus Lance Davis, case number CRB 2350 A and B, TRC 2339 A, B, C, and D. Lance Davis did not check in, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I asked for 7 days before a warrant's issued in this case.
And 7 days to appear before warrant is issued.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Ryan D. Johnson, case number TRC 23317 A and B.
Your Honor, this is a case that we spoke about this morning with the prosecutor in chambers. Mr. Johnson has a assessment with the Recovery Resource Group today at 3 o'clock. As for the OVI, we'll plead to the OVI today. I understand that the state is going to stipulate that if he completes his treatment, that there will be no jail time. So to plead guilty to the OBI, ask for a sentencing date.
All right.
It's actually a
Third.
It's actually a third enhanced by an additional, with a refusal and an additional in 20.
Yes.
So the potential there is pretty significant.
Significant jail time, which is the more of an incentive for him to get treatment and do very well at it.
Yeah, finish this.
And Your Honor, if I may, on behalf of the state, we reviewed the facts of this case, and it would be a challenge for us, not that we wouldn't go through with it, but it would be somewhat of a challenge to be able to have the case beyond a reasonable doubt. However, we believe that the plea and our agreement to disregard the priors if he is successful in treatment is a good resolution to this.
Yes, Your Honor.
We also have the issue of whether Mr. Johnson had financial responsibility at the time, because there is a restitution for a guardrail.
Your Honor, we did have insurance at the time, so that should take care of the guardrail.
So you have that information with
I have that with you.
Probably not, no, my wife might have.
Your Honor, we'll bring it at sentencing next time.
Okay.
Yeah, he said.
Do you have everything you need from him?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the reason his assessment wasn't done earlier is he's worked real hard on getting his insurance switched over, and he's been, he's very communicative with our office on making sure he's up to date.
He's
on
not,
that.
because there was one that wasn't, right?
Right.
This is how it got.
He's actually been working hard on getting his insurance, and he's got it fixed, so we got him today to come in for an assessment.
Okay. So, I want to make sure you understand, Mr. Johnson, you've got a case that potentially has huge penalties on it if the state decided they're not going to give you this deal. But because of some evidentiary issues, they're agreeing, I think I can speak for the state, they're agreeing that rather than take the risk of not convicting you at all, and if you get into treatment and get into recovery, that's a better outcome for you and for the community, rather than pursue a case that maybe they can't convict you on. But if you don't do your part, if you blow this off, if you're not going to take treatment seriously, then they're going to spin the wheel and just try to convict you and put some major penalty on you. Is that a fair, that's my understanding of the way this is going, is that correct?
Yeah, but I do believe he's going to go ahead and enter the plea.
We did. We entered a plea of guilty, yes.
This is a little bit different than a lot of cases that we would handle in this way, and that is that we recognize up front that there may be some evidentiary issues, so we're not intending to stick to the idea of the third offense with the enhancement just because of that.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
But so we're going to treat it as a first regardless?
Well, that would be, I think, under these circumstances, what we would be agreeing to do, yes.
Well, I still have a lot of discretion.
Yes.
I can send you up to 6 months in jail on first offense, so if you blow off treatment and don't take this seriously, that could be up to that kind of a penalty, so when it comes time to sentence. And if you do well and complete treatment, there's an agreement that you're not going to get any jail time. So there is a plea of guilty entered today to the first offense. Is that correct? You agree with that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
And just set it for sentencing, maybe a month down the road?
That would be fine. Let's make it, what's your schedule? July 10th?
Yeah, July is fine, yeah.
July 10th for sentencing. And probably what will happen, I probably won't finalize the sentencing then, but I'll use it more of a review type situation where I'll get a report from RRG as to how you're doing. If things are going well, then I'll put it on down the road. Keep monitoring it until we feel like you have completed what you need to do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Thanks. Have a good one.
make sure you get the insurance too.
Yeah.
State of Ohio versus Shannon L. Lewis, case number TRC 23427A&B. Shannon Lewis.
He is at Star, Your Honor. That's,
There's somebody from Stars on the screen.
yes.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Your Honor, I spoke to the prosecutor about this. I have not had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Lewis about this case, about our offer today. I think it's a fair offer, so I just asked that we be set for a pretrial and ask the court if we could resolve this matter on video or if the court wants him here to resolve this matter.
I'm okay if the state's agreeable with doing it by teleconference.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with that. And just so for the record, since he's at Star already, what we would suggest if he were to plead guilty, because this would be a second offense, that we would not oppose his jail time in that running concurrently with what he's doing at Star. The only thing would be then the fine and the driver's license suspension and any other sanctions that the court imposed. But as far as the jail time, we'd be okay with.
Your Honor, I just asked that we set this for the 26th maybe of June for a pretrial, and he can appear by video, and I will speak to him about that offer and see if we can resolve this matter.
All right, Mr. Lewis, your case is continued to June 26. You may appear again by teleconference just like you're doing today.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Summer D. Pauley, case number CRD 23161.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes. All right, we're going to set this case for trial. We don't want it tonight because it's too soon and there's 5 trials set that day.
Yeah.
And you're not available, what?
The week of the 20th, or the week of the 19th. That's a holiday, but the 20th through the 26th.
How about the 26th?
Yeah, we can do the 26th.
Monday, June 26th. I'll set it at noon for trial.
State of Ohio versus Ronnie Pfeiffer, case number CRD 2395.
Your Honor, this is a theft case. We'll plead guilty to theft today. I think the prosecution is going to recommend suspended time on this matter and no restitution.
There's a change of plea to guilty.
Yes, change of plea to guilty, Your Honor.
All right, before sentencing, I'll direct him to go do a urine screen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have him back for sentencing after that occurs.
Yes.
Where do I go for that?
Mr. Cooper will show you where to go.
State of Ohio versus Kayla Smith, case number CRB 23271. Kayla Smith. I'll check in, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I asked 7 days for a warrant on this.
Yes, the warrant, she has 7 days before the warrant will issue. Failure to appear.
State of Ohio versus Cody Smith, case number CRB 23210.
Your Honor, this is a domestic violence. He's at Riverside. There we go. Okay, go ahead, Tom, Judge.
Your Honor, I've just pointed out to Mr. Smith's attorney, there's a typo on here on the dates he had instant urinalysis screens. It should be 6:05 instead of 5:05.
Okay. Okay, I'd say it's a good report. It says he's made progress and continues, as I understand it, then to learn what he needs to do.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Come back in another month.
Yes, Your Honor.
July 10th?
Yes.
July 10th will be the next hearing. Pre-trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus Ronald Smith, case number CRB 23178, CRB 23179.
Mr. Stratton's case set for pre-trial.
It'll be 10 days suspended. Okay. Your Honor, we're going to change our plea on this to guilty. Ask for suspended time on this matter.
Is that correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
This is also Walmart theft, so
Yes.
urine screen first, and then I'll sentence after we get the results. So go do the urine screen.
State of Ohio versus Jason Lindsay, case number CRB 22522.
did have a good screen today.
Sounds like a permanent thing, long-term thing. Your Honor, in reviewing the Pathways report, which we're very pleased that they provided a detailed report, it's a vast improvement. It appears that Mr. Lindsay's been continuing to follow along with the program and make progress, but it also looks like that the last sentence basically says that the therapist will assist Jason and his partner in increasing healthy communication patterns and family therapy for at least monthly the next 6 months. So that's still an ongoing process. But we also have, in recent times, received word from the alleged victim, who I assume is his partner, the partner they're talking about.
Not that one, no, that's a different partner.
Okay, well, the prior partner said that there hadn't been any problems and that she was pleased with his progress. He's got a clean drug screen today. Originally, we had talked about a 90-day continuance, although I realized some of these things go out a lot longer.
He volunteered for the drug screen, by the way.
Yeah, and but we've been at this some time. I believe maybe it's at a point where we would be agreeable to a dismissal upon the payment of court costs.
When can he do the court costs?
How much are they, 135?
The 135.
Yes.
I would need at least a month, if that's possible.
Okay, let's just set it in July. If he pays it before that date, he doesn't have to appear. If he hasn't paid it, needs to appear. So July 10th, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, sir.
July 10th.
Thank you.
Be dismissed then on payment of costs without an appearance at the state of it.
What is it, how much? Okay. Okay, sure.
State of Ohio versus Linda Hamilton, case number TRC 22-2687.
Mr. Steyer's case set for pretrial.
Your Honor, we discussed this matter briefly in chambers this morning. I believe the state has a motion.
Linda Hamilton. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Approach your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. Will we approach him?
Yes.
All right, sir.
All right, the state is agreeable to reducing this to a reckless operation due to some evidentiary issues on the stop. That's my understanding the defense is agreeable to the owner. Please with that charge.
We are, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Hamilton?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything you wish to say?
No, sir.
And the plea is guilty, Mr. Snyder?
It is, Your Honor.
Reckless operation. I'll place a $150 fine on court costs. You need time to pay? Can you pay?
Copy. I'll pay it next Friday, sir.
Okay, I'll set it for a final pay date. Final pay date of September 23rd. So if you pay it before then, it's good. Pay it after then, you'll have a license suspension.
Okay. Copy, sir.
Okay. I'll wait around a little while.
If you want a copy of the entry, you get that. I'm not putting you on probation, but if you want a copy of the entry, you get it from probation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Kaylee K. Case number CRB 2322.
Mr. Morford's case.
Judge, she has completed her school and she graduated at honor roll. She's working and has been seen in past.
Yeah, I have a report from them saying she's doing what she needs to. It's my understanding it would be dismissed under those conditions if a cost was paid.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Can she pay the cost of it?
Yeah, I came in today and they said that I'll have to come in today. They said I'll have to come in here first before I pay it.
I'm sorry?
They said I'll have to come in here first before I pay it.
She can do that today, Judge, I believe.
Okay, see the clerk, it'll be dismissed. Pay the court costs.
Good luck. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Edward McCoy. Case number CRB 2328, AT&C.
I'm getting a good report. He's in Glenville and doing well.
Okay.
He's still with us out there. If he needs to be on, I didn't know how to do the teleconference, so I figured I'd come in and try to get that. He should be back in about 3 weeks into town and finished up.
Let's just come back after he gets back here. That's after the 26th, or, okay. 3 weeks from today is the 26th, sometime after that.
Anytime's good for you.
Let's do the 30th, June 30th.
June 30th. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Good.
State of Ohio versus Christopher Thomas. Case number CRB 23285.
Mr. Morford's case set for pre-trial
discovery into what the state's evidence is.
It's kind of hard to hear right now because I'm sick, so.
If you want to pay temporary jail suspension, fine, court costs, and a worldwide ban from all. So the Lord, what's that? I'm sorry? What's it? Yeah. No, I believe we're going to have to change the plea.
Okay.
Guilty.
Is that correct, Mr. Thomas? All right, let's go do a urine screen and come back, and I'll do the sentencing after you do the urine screen. Urine screen. Okay, we're starting preliminary hearings.
State of Ohio versus Travis Salyers, case number CRA 22791, CRA 22418, CRB 22420.
Mr. Morford states. You have a report. Yeah. You seen the report?
I have, Judge. Judge, I believe that he wants to stay at Bethesda, and I'd like for Mr. Hill to clear his position to Mr. Salyers. If he's successful in treatment, what is your recommendation to Mr. Hill?
Well, there's 2 felony drug possession charges.
Yes.
And if he's successful in treatment, we generally are going to look at dismissing those charges. You won't even be on your record as a conviction. Now, there's also this theft charge, and I don't know whether that's been, I don't remember what we've done with it. I know that the co-defendant, he was a co-defendant who pled guilty to that theft offense. I think we just kind of left some room there to determine whether this was a case on the theft that we needed to pursue. So we might have to conclude that either with a trial or a plea of guilty, but the felony charges, as long as he continues, hopefully he gets back on track, and hopefully once he apologizes to everybody there for everything that was said and done this morning, they'll take him back. And if they do, if they want him back, we're okay with him continuing.
Do you have any idea what the consequences are going to be of the incident?
I don't know if they've come to a determination on that completely. I'm sure they'll meet with him, work out something.
Well, maybe we need to come back. Is dismissal a possibility, or maybe we need to come back pretty soon then if it's going to be possible that he's dismissed from the program?
Well, no, we plan on keeping him in the program.
Okay.
That's not going to be something.
Mr. Morford, anything else?
No, Judge, I'd like to see him stay at Bethesda. I know he's had some struggles at Bethesda. I would like to thank Megan this morning. She helped me talk with this young man and about his options, Judge, and his choices. And was very instrumental in showing him the benefits of staying at Bethesda.
Okay. Well, let's come back a little sooner than that month. What's your second half of June, what's your schedule, Mr. Morford?
The second half, Judge, of the 12th, I have a trial on common pleas. The 16th, would that work with you?
June 16th.
Thank you.
Next change, June 16th, 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Willie Linville, case number CRA 23157, CRB 16350.
Butch.
Mr. Holmes' case, Willie Linville, preliminary hearing, trials.
Your Honor, he's still at Bethesda. He's probably got another 3 months of inpatient. Yeah, he's doing well. He's got an older case that hopefully he'll be able to start working on
Okay, very good.
as he gets more time to, he's just recently got, and he passes.
All right, good job, Mr. Linville.
Thank you, sir.
Is the town Linville part of your family?
No. He's from West Virginia.
Okay, there's a Linville over here.
There's a Linville in West Virginia too, isn't there?
Maybe they just moved over and started a new.
It's a good name, you know, they could just, wherever they go.
July 10th,
That works, Your Honor.
next hearing. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus William Smith Jr., case number CRA 23327, A and B. William Smith Jr.
Mr. Stiers, please.
Your Honor, we were here Friday on this matter. And we weren't certain whether he would be able to get into treatment and out of jail for over the weekend, so we reset it for today so that if there was an issue, we could readdress it. Sounds like he's out, looks like he's doing well. As a starting point, we're also very early in the case. At this point, we would be willing to waive time constraints on the preliminary hearing and continue this to a point the court considers appropriate to check back up on his progress.
June 30th.
I will be here, Your Honor.
Good start, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
See you on June 30th. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was having trouble getting out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio recalls Ronald Smith, case number CRB 23178, CRB 23178.
I think the drug screen was
Very good.
good. There's going to be a review.
Okay, anything you want to say, Mr. Smith, before I finish your sentences?
Anything you have to say? No, sir. No, Your Honor.
No?
Thank you.
$100 fine, court costs. I'm sorry.
Are there two declarations?
I've only got 23-1781.
There are two.
Right case. Could you recite the case numbers again, please?
23, wait a minute, I need to make sure I'll get it right. You're right, you were right. 23-178. Somebody wrote the one on the outside of this.
There's also
178 and 179. They're different dates.
Yeah, they've pleaded both of them, Your Honor, and suspended time on both.
Okay, on 178, $100 fine and court costs, 10 days of jail suspended, 5 days of community service, 2 years of probation, with a review hearing in September the 15th, 23. For 179. Make it $200 fine, court costs, 20 days of jail suspended. And I'll make it 50 hours of community service consecutive. So you got a total of 80 hours of community service, restrained from going into Walmart, review hearing September 15th.
At 50 hours, what is that? Is that 5 days, Your Honor?
I'm sorry.
How many days is 50 hours?
Let's see.
I don't know how many.
10, 5, about 7.
7 days.
7 days. So he's got a total of about 12 days.
Okay, yes. All right, go over there and talk to Mr. Major, and he'll work on that for you, okay? All right, you're all done. Thanks.
Turner, did you say 60 hours on 179 or 50?
50.
State of Ohio recalls Ronnie Pfeiffer, case number CRB 2395.
Another negative screen. Good.
Yeah.
Negative. So anything you want to say before I sentence you, Mr. Price?
Your Honor, I think he does want to mention the fact, when it comes to community service, that he does have his daughter a lot, which he takes care of by himself.
Yes.
And he works a lot also.
Yes.
So.
I have doubles all week this week.
Yeah, for example, he has doubles this week. Maybe we could talk about maybe he being able to buy out the community service in some way, you know, or.
Will this work? You have to make arrangements to get here. I mean, we have it every day but Sunday or all day, so.
I mean, that's the only days I have off is on the weekend, that's it.
Yeah, or maybe we can.
Well, Saturday, you can work on Saturday?
Your Honor, the dog pound will take people 7 days a week.
Oh, okay, so you can work there on
On
Saturday?
holidays.
And
all
holidays.
holidays, there you go.
Where's the closest dog pound from here?
I'll get your phone number.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, $100, anything else, sir?
No, that was it, sir.
$100 fine cost, 10 days in jail suspended, 5 days community service, 2 years probation, stay out of Walmart, and review hearing September 15th. 9 a.m.
See Mr. Major over there.
State of Ohio recalls Christopher Thomas, case number CRB 23285.
Okay. We need to have Mr. Tom, did you see the results?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Thomas, we need an evaluation of you. So Ms. Nagel, would you like to talk with Mr. Thomas? He lives in Ironton, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did I get your right name wrong? It is Nagel, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Morford, why don't you give her the screen? Let's have her talk with Mr. Thomas and then come back and see what comes. Yes, sir. Pardon, we think Mr. Thomas, he pled guilty to theft from Walmart. And he took a urine screen. I think he needs, part of his sentence is going to be counseling. So after you talk to him, I'll have him back and finish his counseling.
State of Ohio recalls Garrett Julian, case number TRC 222641 and CRB 22290.
The state was going to try to get a hold of the victim on the one case, I believe. The 22290. Who is Wesley Flint.
Did we get a hold of Wesley Flint? I don't see it. Well, Your Honor, we have made efforts to contact him and have been unable recently. However,
if I may, with the Wesley Flint case, I was ordered to go to outpatient at Marsh County Recovery, and then I've completed all that. And the last time I was here, I had to show up one more time, and it was going to be dismissed, I was told.
Well, let's see what the state says.
well, I'm looking at the case that with Mr. Flint as the alleged victim, and it looked to me like the last time we were in court was on December the 12th.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know what's happened in the meantime. It looked like a bench warrant was issued.
Correct.
And so I don't know if there have been hearings between then and now.
There has not been.
All right, so I mean, it's been a while since we've attempted to talk to this Mr. Flint.
Do you have contact information?
We have some contact information, so we can attempt to do that, but we would have to have a few minutes to do it.
Okay. All right, well, when you didn't come to court, that kind of hit the reset button.
Okay.
You don't have a lot of leverage to come in and say, well, I missed court 6 months ago, but now I want the same deal I was promised back 6 months ago when I didn't show up for court. Okay, so I'm going to let them call, because as far as I know, you may have been harassing this guy since then, so I'm going to let them call him and see what he says. So
There's also no VI.
he has no VI, I'm going to sentence him on that too.
Okay, so we'll make an effort here to reach Mr. Flint and see what's going on there.
All right, we'll recall. Like me, you get to sit through the rest of the court, so have a seat.
State of Ohio recalls Linda Hamilton, case number TRC 222687.
Okay. There could be an issue prepared regarding the automatic license system.
State of Ohio versus Jared Nance, case number TRC 22-812-AMV.
Mr. Thompson's case for sentencing.
Madam President.
Yes.
Oh, he still has a ways to go through it, though, right? Well, you can do that. Sure. I don't really see any reason to delay sentencing any longer for Mr. Nance. We've been at this for quite a while.
Your Honor, he's been working pretty hard at Riverside.
He's had a few hiccups along the way.
Yeah. This is a March of 2022 case. So, probably the folks at the Supreme Court would not be happy with me something like this. Not that I have to say that.
We would ask that this be treated as a first, no jail time, and my client would request restricted driving privileges if we're going to be sentenced.
Why would I treat it as a first? Was there some,
Well,
unless there's some evidentiary issue or something, I mean, he got a prior conviction of 21 according to this one. Is that
well,
right?
the agreement was that if he went to Riverside, that
Yeah,
would
but
be.
he's not taking this seriously.
Your Honor, our thought was that, exactly that there's enough here to say that we don't feel like he's really, I mean, the word non-compliant comes up here, so that obviously, after all this time, is a little bit disturbing that we don't have better compliance. Even though the case has been going on for quite some time, this might be a point at which, you know, he may say, I've either got to really turn it on and get a great report next time, or I might end up in jail.
I think we're past that point because there has, I mean, we're giving a lot of people chances, but there has to be, he's going to serve his purpose. He's going to show what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. And maybe that'll cause somebody else to work a little harder. He hasn't taken this serious. He had oodles and oodles of chances. He hasn't taking advantage. And, I mean, he's still testing for drugs and alcohol, and it's a second offense. He had a prior in Ironton Municipal Court. Well, the record went on February 18th of 2020. The offense date was November 18th, 2019. So, anything you want to say, Mr. Nance? He's already pled guilty.
I'm going to continue to work the program and the steps that I need to do. I'm going to keep going to Riverside either way this goes.
I would ask the court to give him one more shot, 60 days, with clean reports to the court every week, and that sentencing be reconsidered at that time.
And I'm not going to do that. It wasn't just this report. I'm looking at last month. Well, April 21st, amphetamine, methamphetamine, THC. Okay. I'm going to sentence Mr. Nance, and it was a high test at the time too, at 1.6. So I'm going to make it a $1,000 fine. Court costs. 1 year license suspension, which that's already over. That's going to be over. So there's one good thing. 30 days in jail, 20 suspended, 2 years of probation. Continue, he's got to do counseling, substance use counseling on a second offense. I'm going to order him to continue that as part of his probation. 2 years of probation. Set a review hearing for him for July 24th.
Your Honor, as far as the jail time goes, would he be able to spread that out over, maybe, no?
It's not allowed under the statute. Which, are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Huntington Health and Rehab.
So is that a...
No, it's like a rehabilitation if you've like broken a leg.
Okay. Yes. What do you do there?
I'm a CNA.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to report. Would you prefer to report on Monday or Friday?
Monday.
Okay, I'm going to order that you report June 26th. I'll give you some time to get your affairs in order. Here, you report here.
Okay, we'll come here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and that's not all. You still got another case that's a serious case.
Okay.
So, driving under an OBI suspension. I'll impose a $250 fine, 3 days in jail, and that's going to be concurrent. Or, I'm sorry, consecutive. And you'll report for that also on June 26th. And if you don't report when you're ordered to, you'll get the... Well, let's go back and change that. I'm going to make it 40 days in jail instead of 30, so up the ante on she doesn't report. And he also has 60 hours of community service on the OBI.
So 40 days jail, 30 suspended.
Yes. I wish you would have taken this, and knowing what your profession is, I'm surprised you didn't take this more seriously. Very disappointing. Review hearing, what did I say, July 24th. Both cases, 9 a.m.
Is he able to apply now to get his license renewed?
I'm sorry?
Is he able to get his license back now?
Well, this is gonna go in, he can, yes, he can contact the B&B.
All right.
I'm sure he's gonna have reinstatement, and probably, SR 22, I saw. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Joshua Randy, case number PRC 22-2516, A and B, excuse me, that's 2576, A and B.
Your Holt's case. You have a report today.
Yes, Your Honor, would you like to see it? I'm sure.
Yes. I need a copy of that for the court's file. Okay, so it looks like we can go ahead.
You can have that copy. He said he's got an extra.
Okay. Okay, ready to complete sentencing then today?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it's marked as a second offense high score, however, the prior was in magistrate's court in West Virginia. so
And it didn't result in a conviction.
Right. It didn't result, so two reasons why it doesn't count. And he's done well in treatment, so.
So what's the state's recommendation on this? Because even if I treat it as a first offense with his test score, he's looking at jail time. So what's the state's position?
Well, Your Honor, back when he entered a guilty plea, we discussed our desire for him to be successful in treatment, and we offered the prospect of making a recommendation a little lower than what was charged in order to give him that impetus to do that, and I believe he has, from our perspective, accomplished that. So we don't have a problem if the court treated it as a low score first offense.
Your Honor, he was extremely cooperative, maybe one of the most cooperative suspects I've seen. Immediately addressed the issue and remained gainfully employed, full-time employed the entire time, and has been with the same employer for several years. So he's done outstanding. I think that shows this was just a momentary, hopefully isolated mistake.
Well, I hope so. I mean, apparently he had some other alcohol or drug, substance use issue with driving. You're a young man, so you need to change some of your behavior. One thing I remarked on today, and I think it's going to make a long-term impact. It's probably going to take a while, but the new studies are showing that there's no level of alcohol that you can consume that's really not damaging. So, I mean, for a while they were telling us that there was some moderate consumption of alcohol was actually healthy because it reduced, the thinking was it reduced your cholesterol levels, but now they're saying that, one, alcohol is a carcinogen, so it raises certain levels of incidence of cancer, but it also is damaging to your DNA and bring. So, in any level, there's no safe level to take. And certainly, I mean, you've had 2 incidents where you got involved with police organizations while you were driving, and I don't know what the first one was, if it involved alcohol, but this one certainly did. So you need to make some adjustments, and hopefully you don't have these kind of incidents happening anymore for your benefit and everyone else in the community. Okay, I'm still going to give you, I'm not going to give you the minimum fine, but pretty close, $500 fine, because you've apparently done your treatment well, or you pay the court costs. You'll have a 6-month license suspension, which actually is going to be up, but you'll still have to deal with it. And you're a West Virginia driver?
Yes.
Okay, now whether they'll accept, I know they'll accept the 3-day school. They have their own thing over there on license suspensions. And they may require you to go to some sort of additional treatment. I don't know. You've got this that was ordered by the court. So the court can say you fulfilled what we require to do. I'm not going to require them to go to the driver intervention program. West Virginia has accepted the driver intervention program to fulfill their requirements for counseling, but you're going to have to deal with them because Ohio will report it to West Virginia as far as you getting a conviction. I'll set your review hearing for September the 15th. You finish everything, and you have 5 days of community service to do too. So if you finish that and pay off your fines and costs, you don't have to appear. If you haven't finished it, you got to appear or you automatically get a warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
On the left of center, I'll impose a $10 fine. You'll need to see Mr. Major in the probation office. Any questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Scott Taylor, case number TRC 222629.
Okay, you got a good report from OVP?
You did, Judge, yes.
Time to finish this or keep monitoring? Heal.
Your Honor, Mr. Taylor, just by looking at him, has attained quite a bit of improvement in his life situation. And as the court will recall, we've had him in here on other occasions on very similar things, and on those previous occasions didn't have quite the ability to influence his recovery like we have this time. And not to try to inconvenience him, but we'd like to see him continue and show up periodically, because I think that helps him to keep on the right path, and that's what we want. So we'd ask to come back again.
Judge, I would agree. If you recall, he was at Bethesda. He just started OVP outpatient here within the last 30 days, I would say, May 11th. So I don't have an objection to coming back and a little bit more to monitor.
Okay. Well, look in July.
Okay. I know the last week of July is bad, but other than that, it should be pretty good.
July 17th.
That'd be fine, Judge, yes.
July 17th for sentencing.
July 17th.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
State of Ohio versus Heather Chin, case number TRD 201711 A and B, TRD 201761 A and B, PRD 2286.
All right, and these are on the sentencing docket, and you're just paying on fines, I believe. You have a payment today?
Yes, sir.
How much are you paying?
20.
All right, see the clerk. Next hearing will be July 10th. Pay these off, and you can come to these hearings.
That's right. That's my plan. Okay, at 10 a.m. still? Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio recalls Christopher Thomas, case number CRB 23285.
Okay, Mr. Thomas has already pled, took a screen, now he's met with Ms. Nagel from Cardinal. You can come on up. Stand up here. Yeah, thank you. Have we worked out something for him to come in and?
Yes, Your Honor. I had spoke with Mr. Thomas here, and I would recommend that he would do outpatient services, just considering the statement that he had said with his last use being alcohol, and he's been clean off of other substances for about 5 months now.
He tested for morphine.
Yes, he had told me that he had taken a half of a pill. With that, he does have Kentucky insurance, so we would be able to offer outpatient.
Okay.
If he would need something more, we could look into other options.
But you're a Ohio resident, right?
What is it?
Don't you live in Ohio?
Yes, sir. I live with the deputy sheriff, actually.
Okay. I assume that where are you from originally?
Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm from Ashland.
Just with him stating that he hasn't had any use within the last 5 months other than that, it would.
All right, well, I assume you'll screen him?
Yes.
So things need to be adjusted, we'll do that.
Absolutely.
July 10th will be his review hearing, and I'm going to go ahead and sentence him then on the theft offense. I'll impose a $100 fine, court costs, and I'm going to make it 30 days in jail, suspended, on the condition that he go to treatment with Cardinal and do 5 days of community service, 2 years of probation, order you to stay out of Walmart and come back here on July the 10th for a review hearing at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You'll need to go to the probation office and meet with Mr. Major too, Vice Probation.
Will do. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Nagel.
Yes, thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Jared Julian, case number TRC 222641, CRB 22290.
Okay, state was going to try to get a hold of the complaining party in the 22290.
The number was not associated with that person anymore.
Okay. So do you want to dismiss this, or how do you want to proceed on it?
Back when we did have contact with the alleged victim, his opinion was that he wanted Mr. Julian to get some drug treatment, which I think is maybe part of the OVI disposition anyway. So, yeah, we go ahead and dismiss the assault charge.
Okay, that's 22290 will be dismissed. So now on to 222641 for sentencing. And that was a first offense OVI.
Sure.
Okay, and it looks like the substance they didn't give you or offer you a test because the substance was something that wouldn't test for. Computer testing, apparently. Okay. So, our urine test means that much then. Okay, I'll go ahead. Anything you want to say about the OVI, Mr. Mr. Julian?
I was making bad decisions. It's really all I got to say.
Okay. Now you're gonna make good ones.
Yeah, I have been ever since, about after that happened, ever since about January, I've been doing really good.
Okay, good. All right, I'll give you the minimum fine. $375 is the minimum.
Okay.
Or you pay the court costs.
What's that, 135?
110, because you didn't have a signed counsel, so it's
It'll
like,
be on this end.
yeah, you don't have to write all this.
All right.
You're gonna get a piece of paper that has it all.
Cool.
Like that. 6-month license suspension, which is already up, but it'll go on, you'll have to get it reinstated. 20 days in jail, suspended. 5 days community service. 2 years of probation. I'm not going to require that you go to the driver intervention program because he's done other counseling. So that saves you about $400 or maybe more. I don't know what it is to get the driver intervention program out, quite a bit. Your review hearing, I will make September the 15th at 9 a.m.
Say 15?
September 15th, 9 a.m. Any questions?
No, sir.
Go see Mr. Major in the probation office.
Okay, thank you.
You are completed.
State of Ohio versus Tyler Wellman, case number TRC 23316, A and B.
This is Mr. Haslam's case. This is set for trial.
Set for suppression today, Your Honor.
Okay, trial next week, not resolved.
Correct, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we moved to continue this hearing today because our trooper was not available. He was assigned to another location for work today. We do have time within the time restraints in order to have this suppression hearing on another day. We also, in reviewing the records and everything, we found that the court had set a deadline of May the 19th for a suppression motion to be filed, and I believe that were not filed but presented. And our records indicate that that was not done in a timely manner, so we filed a motion to ask the court to dismiss the suppression motion. Nonetheless, whether the court does that or not, we do believe that we should be entitled to a short continuance in order to allow our arresting officer and he's our main and only witness to be here.
Mr. Haslem.
Your Honor, as it relates to Trooper Beam, I'm not aware that Trooper Beam is assigned to other duty today. I believe the rumor is that he's actually on vacation this week. Either way, as it relates to the filing of the suppression motion, I've explained to my client, and as noted in our memorandum contra, yes, my office faxed the motion itself over after hours. Mr. Heald was served with the motion on the 19th, properly in accordance with the rules of criminal procedure, interpreting Civil Rule 5. So the state's been in possession of that motion since at least the 19th. As it relates to time, Your Honor, my understanding, unless I'm mistaken on my calculation, would be that time ran in this case absent the suppression motion on May 29th. So if the state would like to strike the suppression motion, we're happy to do that and would move to dismiss the case.
Well, I'm looking at the proof of service. Oh, that's your motion to dismiss. Okay, it does say it was served by electronic mail on May the 19th. was not filed with the court on May, it was filed with the court on May 22nd.
And Your Honor, that's on my office because we faxed it in after hours, understanding the court's local rule that it's not the effective transmission of the facsimile, it's when the clerk is in the office to stamp it. So that would be the discrepancy between after hours on the 19th and it being stamped the morning of the 22nd.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I mean, if it had been filed, I would just go ahead and grant the defendant's motion because, well, now, that's based on the fact that I believe there wasn't any prior notice to the defendant that the witness wasn't going to be here, no request to the court for continuance in advance. I mean, and I understand everybody's busy and law enforcement's busy, but they have a tendency, and I don't know what notice the trooper had, but if he had notice of this hearing, he can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to go work someplace else. This takes precedence, especially if he's subpoenaed. He should be subpoenaed to appear. Subpoena trumps him going some other place to work or going on vacation. But what would be appropriate then is for the prosecutor to file a motion saying, especially if it's vacation, I have a lot of sympathy for that. My witness can't be here. That puts them on notice. They don't have to drag over here. But since this was not filed by the 19th, I'm going to give a continuance. But that's what I want to see in the future. If there's a problem, then there should be brought up for the time of the hearing.
Your Honor, I would like to address that. And the first thing is that we did ask for a subpoena to be issued on May the 16th. We got an email from the trooper on May the 25th saying that despite the rumor that he's on vacation, he's required to be in Athens that day for work at 8 a.m. and will be there until 4 p.m.
Well, he's mistaken.
Well, I mean,
he was required to be here when he served with the subpoena. He tells his superior in Athens, sorry, boss, I've been ordered to court in Lawrence County. That trumps a job assignment.
And I do understand that, Your Honor. I guess I was just responding to...
Well, you need to tell him that. You're his lawyer. You need to call the trooper up and say, sorry, trooper, you're mistaken about where you have to be. You have to be in court that day, and you need to tell your boss, I'm subpoenaed to be in court. That's where I'm going to have to go. So, if it wasn't, I mean, if this had been filed on the 19th, I wouldn't give you your continuance, it'd just get dismissed. Sometimes I think they don't really care whether the case gets dismissed or not, because they act like it's not that big a deal, whether they show up or not. So, we've got the defendant, Mr. Haslam, and you're here on this case too? No. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were, I was going to say, we got all these people inconvenienced because he's off in Athens. I mean, I love Athens. I'd love to be there for lunch right now. One of my favorite restaurants is there. But I just don't take off and go to Athens and say, okay, guys, you're on your own. So I would appreciate if you would pass that word along to the trooper and all other officers that a subpoena is a court order. You are ordered to be present. It's not like I say this all the time here. It's not like 7th grade math homework. That's the way kids act like, oh, if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. If I want to show up, I show up. Nothing's going to happen to me if I don't do it. Well, in the past, it's been a long time ago, I ordered the arrest of a couple of state troopers for not showing up on a subpoena. Do you want this trooper arrested? I take it not.
Even though his judgment was not correct on which was more important, I think he was acting in good faith anyway, and I'll make sure that he understands from now on.
Yeah, well, it should have, I mean, it should have been communicated to him May 26th that you have to be in court. So, I'll give you some leeway since your client's being inconvenienced by the continuance as to when you want to come back for the next hearing.
So, number one question before I forget, would the time from today until we come back accrue to my client, or would it accrue to the state? Because I think it's honestly ambiguous under the statute. We filed the motion, that would toll time, but now we're having to continue it at the state's request. I don't think that should accrue against my client.
Well, I'm going to say, my understanding is when there's a motion pending that tolls, but if you can get some authority, give me some authority, and I'll rule otherwise. But that would be my feeling that I'm going to say right now. I'm thinking the time is stopped while we got this motion to deal with. So
We have a trial date currently set for
yeah,
12th. So
I'm sorry.
trial date for the 12th, I think Mr. James told you that too.
Yes, but we're going to have to change that.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
You can use that as the motion date if you want.
Your Honor, we're fine to come back this Friday for the suppression hearing.
Okay.
Well, again, if we can't, we'll try to have him here on this Friday.
He needs to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, June the 9th for motion hearing at noon.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
We'll keep the trial date for Monday, June 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Dale Thompson, case number CRB 23237. Dale Thompson.
All right, Mr. Haslam, you're representing Mr. Thompson.
I am, Your Honor. Your Honor, so when we came in this morning and discussed this matter with the state had tendered to Mr. Thompson the opportunity that if he were to fence his yard to contain his dogs, that likely would result in a dismissal of this matter. I know the state has spoken with the complaining neighbors. Ms. May asked me to speak with the neighbors because there's a question over easement. At this time, the plan is, if the court's acceptable with it, Mr. Thompson is going to get his property surveyed and will have a fence put up. We would ask to return in 30 days, understanding that it may be to get a survey accomplished, which is the big problem.
That's going to take a while, I would say.
To get the survey accomplished and then to get the fence up. So we would be fine with a time waiver coming back in 30 days, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill, do you agree with that?
We're in agreement with that. And we just, in speaking with the neighbors who have all experienced Mr. Thompson's dogs coming on their property, they don't want to do any harm to the dogs or Mr. Thompson. But the dogs, even though individually I think they know that each of the dogs are gentle, when they run out on their own, they kind of get the pack mentality going, and it's frightening, and there's been incidents, and we don't want to have any more. So,
Well, the law is you don't have to deal with other people's dogs on your property or on the street. I mean, I've seen people hurt pretty seriously on bicycles and motorcycles where they hit a dog that's out in the street off of the owner's property. So you are required under Ohio law to keep your dog either under leash or fence or some way that it's confined not to do that. So even though because everybody knows I ride bicycles, and I'm riding a bicycle 20 miles an hour, here comes a dog running at me, the owner's out there yelling, "Don't worry, he doesn't bite." Well, I'm not really worried about him biting me. I'm worried about him running in front of me and causing me to wreck. And I shouldn't have to deal with that, but it happens quite a bit. So let's come back July 14th.
I believe the 14th will work, Your Honor. We can do July 14th, Your Honor.
All right. And this will just be on the regular docket, not for trial or anything.
Is that for a pretrial?
So be a pretrial. Yeah, it'll be a pretrial.
Yes, sir.
So it sounds like it's possible that, and hopefully he'll be able to have the survey and the fence done by then, but if not, then I guess we might need to continue it again and just check the progress on that day.
I think very much it'll be dependent on when you can get a surveyor out there. I don't know Mr. Heald's experience recently, but mine in multiple cases is trying to find a surveyor is almost impossible. Surveyors and land
Well, you
appraisers.
can get Easton, but there's not that many. This is an old man talking. There's no young surveyors. Nobody wants to do it anymore, and you can make some pretty good money, but all the surveyors are dying off. Nobody young is coming along to take their place. That's, wow. Same thing with lawyers. It's true. I've got one foot in the grave. Now, these guys are young, but, okay. July 14th. Court's adjourned.